Okay, all right, guys. So let's talk about JavaScript variables. So JavaScript variables are just like containers to store data. So like you can store Bob inside the container, you can store true, like a boolean that is either true or false inside the container. You can store like 35, a number inside the container. Like you can store anything inside JavaScript variables. JavaScript variables are just like containers that is used to hold data for use later in the code, or for use later in the code. Let's say in the code, right? So let's do some operations. So in this tutorial, we are going to be using the JavaScript console. All right. So to open the console, let's just come to the developer tools here, more tools, and open web developer web tools. Or the best way to open it is using keys, like shortcut keys. So let me just close it, and on Windows, Control Shift K. That's Control Shift K. So it's going to open the console. Okay, so let's go to our code. And now before we continue, just try to go to this link and read more about JavaScript variables. So when you are done reading it, you can come back and continue with the code. So just pause it and go and read it. Okay, when you are done reading it, if you are done reading it, then let's move on. So let's define the script tag here. And there are different ways to declare a JavaScript variable. One of the ways, or the three different ways, are using the var keyword. I'm just going to comment it. Let me comment it. Using the var keyword, the let keyword, and the const keywords. So these two keywords, they came when year 6. They came with year 6. Let me just do it multiple lines. I'm just going to do it in multiple lines. Okay, so the let and const keyword, they came with ECMAScript 6. They came with ECMAScript 6. Yes, 2015. Yes, 2015. Oh, sorry. Yes, 2015. That's year 6. They came with year 6. They were not in JavaScript when JavaScript was first launched. Then it was only var that was used to declare variable. But in years 2015, let and const keywords were introduced to declare variables. Okay, so let's try to declare a variable with var. Now var foo equal to, let me just name this, greet equal to hello world. So we've saved hello world inside greet. Now we can now use greet later in the code. Like let's say we can now use the content of greet. Let's say console.log. What do we want to log? Greet. Then instead of passing in this hello world, we're just going to pass in the greet. Okay, now let's save it and let's go check it out in the console. Okay, I can see hello world. Okay, so and variables, you can end it with semicolon, or you can decide not to end it with semicolon. Semicolon is not compulsory. And with the var keyword to declare a variable, you can reassign the value of the variable. You can assign the variable to another value. Let's say hello Paulos. So it's going to change the value of the variable. So let's save it and let's go check it out in the console. As you can see, it is now hello Paulos. So the value of the greets was changed here. So, and you can declare variables in multiple lines. Let's say var greets and another one. Let's say time and another one. Let's say me equal to. You can assign it immediately. And the last one, let's say good news. Good news. Okay, so you can assign variables like this. So variables, okay, let me just comment this out. Variables that you declare without assigning it to anything, it will take the value of undefined. So if I try to log undefined here, let me save it. If I try to log greets here, it's going to give me undefined. So I can see it is giving me undefined because it was not declared. And if I try to log good news here, let me copy it and paste it. Oh, sorry. Let me copy it, paste it, save it. Alright, I can see good news because I declared the variable here. And another thing I would like to point out is to declare variables. Rules to declare variables. You can use variables can contain letters. They can contain letters. You can decide to say var number 1 equal to 1. Var number 2 equal to 2. So you can declare variables. It can contain letters. As you can see, it contains letters and numbers. It can contain underscore, var underscore greets equal to hello. And it can contain also double underscore or multiple underscores. So if I try to log this now, it's going to give me what I want. I can see it's outputting the good news. Okay, so it can contain underscore, it can contain $sign, it can contain $sign. Let's say var $sign full equal to bar. Then I can call it here. Let me comment this out. I can call it here console.log $sign full. Good news. Okay, I didn't save it. Okay, I can see it has output bar here. Okay, so it is also case sensitive. So number 2 is different from number 2. Let's say number 2 with capital letter, num2 with capital letter is different from num2 with small letter, n with small letter n. So let me try to print out num2 here. Okay, sorry. Let me copy it because I'm lazy to type and reload it. I can. Okay, sorry, I forgot to save. So it's giving me 2, and num2 is different from save it from the small letter one, the one that has small letter. Okay, and it is, you cannot use reserved words, JavaScript reserved words as variables. Like this is JavaScript reserved word, like this equal to work hard. So okay, work hard. So then if I try to log this, I can see this is another color. It's giving me another color, and it's giving, and this one is throwing an error that type of global this. Now let's check the console. It should give an error. The console should also give an error, like uncaught error, missing variable name, because this word is a reserved word, is a JavaScript reserved word, and it represents the window global object. So if I try to save it and try to log it, it's going to return window global object. I can see the window global object. So this is the window global object. Okay. So that's that. You cannot use reserved words like var, like this. You cannot use var again to declare a variable. You cannot use it to declare a variable. Sorry, I don't know the reason why it's doing like this. And you cannot use window because it's a reserved word. It will give me an error now. Okay, it is outputting another thing, but it is not outputting this because you cannot use windows also as a variable, and you cannot use undefined also as a variable. So you can, don't forget I mentioned that you can define variable on one line. And now let's talk about let and const. JavaScript let and const. Now with let that came with year 6, with let's define a variable with let's good day what good day everyone. So this, let's try to output this in the console. Let's save it. Okay, so good day everyone. And the difference between let, you can also define multiple variables with let. Let's say time 2 and me 2 equal to second follows. And let's try to output this in the console just to test it. Alright, so you can see that. So the difference between let and var is that you cannot redeclare variables that you declare with let. Let's say good day. You cannot reassign. You cannot reassign or redeclare variables that you declare with let. Let's say let's good day. I want to redeclare it and give it another value. Good afternoon. Now let me print out good day. It should give me an error. So you can see with declaration of let good day previously declared on line 41. Okay, so you cannot redeclare a variable with let. That's the difference. But you can redeclare a variable with var. You can declare a variable with var. So let's say I want to redeclare num2. So and give it a value of 300. So if I should do this num2, let me just comment this out, save it, and go back to the browser. I can see 300. So we declared it, but you cannot redeclare variables with let. Now let's try to reassign. Let me just comment this out. Let's try to assign good day to another value. Let's check it, and let's try to say second good afternoon, and let's output good day. Let's see what happens. Second good afternoon. Okay, so you can also reassign values. You can also reassign variables that you declared with let. Okay, now let's go to the third one. Var, const. So let's try to declare a variable with const. Const, the full name of const is constant, JavaScript constant. So let's say constant, let me just choose another word, constant day equal to let's say 30, for example, constant day 30. Now let me print it out. Day, let me save it, and the console 30, as you can see, that's 30. And let's try to redeclare const also, the const variable also, const day. Let's give it 56, for example, and let's see what happens. Let me just read the page. I can see with the declaration of const day, you cannot redeclare constant. Now let me try to reassign constant. I can see we reassigned the let variable, the good day variable here, and it worked fine. We assigned var variables also, and it also worked fine. Now let's try to reassign const day equal to, let's set it to 23, and let's save it, and let's go to the browser, and let's see, let me just close this out, and you see declaration of const day. Okay, I made a mistake here. It's not a declaration. I'm reassigning it. Day equal to 23. So let's check that out. So you see, invalid assignment to const day. You cannot reassign it to another value. So constant cannot be reassigned to another value. So, and constant is used to declare things like arrays, like JavaScript arrays. Let's say var number array. So, oh sorry, not var, const number array 2 4. This is an array. So things like this, array objects, is used to assign, declare things like that, things that you are not going to reassign it, and you are not going to redeclare it. So things like that is what you use constant for in JavaScript. So let's look at JavaScript types. There are different types of JavaScript variable types. There are numbers type, string type, boolean type, array type, and object type. So let me chip in this. So JavaScript is or let me just explain this. JavaScript automatically detects the variable type or the data type. It automatically detects the data type. Let's say a variable of var number. Let's say number equal to 3. Unlike other other programming languages, some programming languages, that you have to specify the data type of the variable. Like in Java, you say string number equal to 3, equal to, okay, it's not a string, int number equal to 3, but in JavaScript, it will automatically, you don't have to do that, it will automatically detect it, and something like this, var name equal to Paul. So it will automatically detect that this is a string data type. It will automatically detect it. So that's in JavaScript. So there are different type of variable types. Let me just quickly mention them. So this is a number type. This is a number variable type. Number type. And the second one, let me just view it in the browser. The second one is the number type. Oh, the string type, the boolean, there's array, there's objects. So this, anything that is in within the quotes, maybe single quotes or double quotes, it is a string data type. And a boolean is either true or false. Let's say is true, that's going to be true. So that's a boolean. A boolean can be either true or false. So it can be either array or objects. For example, array var name array is equal to this. Let's say Paul AB Ayo James. So to get the value in an array, you just output it like this, then you get the index. If you follow this tutorial, you know that I have mentioned that JavaScript array is a 0 index. That is, the first one here is at the 0 index. That it is at index 0. So if you want to count it, it's just going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. So if you want to get the first one, so you are going to write 0. So let's save it and let's bring up our console and just reload it. Okay. Let me move this. Save it. No. This. I can see Paul. So that is the first item in the array. So objects, you can also declare objects, but objects are mostly declared with const name object. So to declare an object, use the curly braces. Let's say name is okay. Let's say Paul follows objects, follows about objects. Name Paul, age 22, and height. I don't know my height. Okay, let me just say job programmer. Now, to get an item in an object, you just use call the object, then you enter the key. So object is a key value pair. So this here is a key and this is a value. This is a key and this is a value. This is a key and this is a value. So to get a value there, let's say you want to get Paul, just enter the key. The key is name. So let's go to the console and okay, that's Paul. Let's try to get age. I can see it's gotten the age. Okay, so this is, I hope you get the concept of JavaScript variables. So most of the things we are going to be doing in JavaScript, we are going to be doing it with variables because they are containers that store values.